Greetings, everyone. It's time for more movies.
And since the likelihood of Brain Scratch ever doing Dragon Ball Z, the full series, is very fucking unlikely, we're going to do the next best thing, the movies. Starting
All
with
of them?
the first one. Of course. They're
Yes.
much
The
easier
first
to
one,
imitate.
and the only one that's canon to the main series, as far as I know.
No, it's not. We'll get into that later.
All right,
What?
so, by the way, we are also watching the Ocean dub.
Of course, the one I grew up with, and the one
Same.
I'm pretty sure Ryan grew up with as well.
Yep.
Before we head into this,
You can't. If the only means you have to watch it is the Funimation dub, it's the same movie.
yes, just
So-
different voice actors and stuff
so-
like that. So
You
Yeah,
can
we
use
might
that if
we
you
might
want.
be commenting on Narmi voice acting that isn't there, but it's the same movie.
Yeah.
yes.
All right. So is everyone ready to begin?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So on the invisible 0, 3, 2, 1. Waves and rocks.
This movie has been
How-
brought to you by Waves and Rocks.
How appropriate for an ocean dub, am I right, folks?
I'll be here all week. Oh Jesus, sorry.
Piccolo,
Am I-
I didn't know you felt that way about Waves and Rocks. Fine, we'll get them off. Jesus.
No, we still have 13 other movies to look at, and they all
No,
begin with
Piccolo.
waves.
We need those rocks. What are the
Where
what
the
are the waves
waves?
going to crash into?
Piccolo, voiced by Scott McNeil.
Okay, now
I
there's one thing-
I do prefer Scott McNeil as Evil Piccolo's voice.
I would agree. I actually do really like Scott McNeil's performance as Piccolo for the Ocean dub. But here's one thing I never really understood. If you watch the televised version of this scene is completely omitted.
Yeah.
Why?
I've never
Pointless.
seen this scene before.
Really? You see, that's my point exactly.
Yeah,
If you-
they
if you
cut
watch
this opening part out of the.
like whenever it's being aired on Toonami and stuff like that, they always cut out this opening sequence, and I never understood why.
It
I mean,
certainly
was-
explains why Piccolo got involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, because you know what always bugged me about this movie was that it takes place before Raditz, right? So why during the Raditz sequence is Piccolo and Goku working together such a new thing, when according to this movie it's happened before?
Is that part of why this movie can't be canon? Or is it canon? Or is that...
It's one of those few movies that's kind of sort of canon
Here's why I don't deem it canon.
because Garlic Jr. Saga's filler.
Well, that's the second reason.
Yeah.
The first reason is
He got
The begin- when Gohan gets kidnapped. this has to be before Raditz comes to Earth, right? Because when Raditz lands on Earth, that's when Goku introduces Gohan to Bulma and Roshi.
Yeah, it's one of those time weird things.
Yes, and because Garlic Jr. Saga is completely fucking filler,
Yeah.
it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this intro is completely different.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah, the if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, the intro changed significantly early on.
Mitaime.
Did they play this Japanese opening on, like,
No.
American TVs?
No.
Oh,
If you bought the movie on the VHS and DVD, yes, it did.
Yeah, not on TV though.
because
Oh,
I'm hearing Chala had Chala right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
In the TV broadcast, it was Rock the Dragon.
oh.
Yeah.
The all right. The first Dragon Ball Z movie I didn't see was actually The World's Strongest.
Yeah.
That Dead Zone was second to me, even though the order switched around.
Yeah.
But this and The World's Strongest was actually the first to introduce me to the Japanese soundtrack of Dragon
Yeah,
Ball.
because they actually didn't change. The Ocean dub didn't actually change that for whatever reason.
I never understood that. They leave the soundtrack alone for the movies, but they changed it. They up it up for the TV series in general. I never really got that.
Oh, because they
Well-
want to make it more palatable to American children, you know.
Well, I guess with the movies, they all have their own soundtracks, right?
They do use a lot. No, not really. They use most of the TV themes.
Oh, well,
Maybe a bit higher quality, but
Like the only exception I remember was Tree of Might.
yeah, that had a few
That-
different.
That
tracks.
soundtrack was completely altered to have the Ocean Dub's TV soundtrack at the time. And even then, it wasn't even shown as a whole movie. It was broken up into 3 episodes.
Yeah, it was introduced as like a filler thing,
Yeah.
and then it was later shown as a full movie. Remember when Gohan's life was incredibly boring?
When did it pick up?
Well, there was a time that was when he got kidnapped by Raditz, then kidnapped by Piccolo, and then thrown out of that big rock.
And then he comes back from Namek, and everything is studying again.
Oh, hi, Ox King. You're rarely ever seen.
He hasn't even ever done anything since Dragon Ball.
Well, he never did anything in Dragon Ball.
No, he gave them a Dragon Ball at one point.
He wore a helmet with goggles on it. He made a lot of noise. He was scary and imposing, and he had a daughter with a laser cannon on her head.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Not my hip.
To be honest, the Ox King is one of those remnants of Dragon Ball that doesn't really mesh with Dragon Ball Z.
No.
Well, late Dragon Balls in particular, yeah, because Dragon Ball Z, early Dragon Ball Z, might as well have just been an extension of the original Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
With the stakes raised, obviously, but.
But after Super Saiyans entered the fray and Frieza the Frieza plot turned all serious and all of that, it just became a bit more.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, Oolong just didn't make any more sense.
Well, Oolong was never useful except for that one time. But.
Yeah, but at least he fit in with Dragon Ball.
Z really started.
Oolong. It was like they just bring Oolong back every time. Every time they do it in Z, I just wonder why he's there.
I guess just as the bridge between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, just to give you a reminder that, hey, remember this series?
Remember when we used to do stuff?
and yet Toriyama somehow completely forgot about Launch.
Launch appears for 2 seconds.
Yes, I know.
Dies, and that's it.
Well, in the manga anyway, but...
I know, she's in the anime too, I think.
I think my family's getting killed.
My stomach sense is tingling. Oh.
I love Goku's approach to fishing. He just jumps in the water, grabs them by the tail, and then yanks them out.
Hey, it's a 100% success rate. You can keep doing it as fuck as he please.
I was like, I think when he was growing up in the woods, like Grandpa never taught him.
No, he used his tail.
He has to use it. He did, but I don't think he knows fishing rods exist.
It's always weird. It's always weird going back to this time in Dragon Ball Z, because this is back when the
Goku didn't really fly all that much.
Well, that and in terms of character design, everyone still had very rounded edges.
Yeah.
Because by the time we got into Frieza, everything became sharp and angular.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And it's just weird going it back to see people look like they have a little meat to them.
Yeah. And as much as we'll comment on how the voice acting differs, I will give credit to Ocean Goku and Shanshima, because they do sound somewhat similar. And they do a good job with it.
There are 2 Ocean dub Gokus.
Yeah.
One was the first one. The first one was Ian somebody.
Sinclair?
Then he was replaced by someone, Peter. I only know their first names. Peter replaced Ian mid-Namek.
Yeah. This is still Ian.
Because it's weird though, because I'm trying to hear Goku. I think it was Peter for this Goku, and it was Peter again for World's Strongest. Ian came for the Tree of Might, which was weird because Tree of Might
is technically the third movie.
It's the third movie, and Ian was Goku for the first 2 seasons of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, here's a question. Why did they take all of Gohan and not just his hat?
No idea.
Well,
there's no reason
there
to
are a
take
bunch
this
of
kid
idiots.
with us.
There are a bunch of idiots, that's why.
I mean, I'd question the logic of putting the Dragon Ball on the hat to begin with, because that's just like screaming for people to yank him off the street.
Well, it's an idiot move, but not very many people actually know about the Dragon Balls. That, and they live out in the woods in the middle of nowhere anyway, so shrug.
Well, I mean, I can accept Goku doing it because he's a fucking moron, but these people are supposed to be smarter than that, I assume.
It's a sentimental
It's the 4-star
thing.
ball, so
Yeah, it was Goku's grandfather's treasured memento. And also, as for these people, smart? No.
oh hi,
You guys
Bulma.
remember when Dragon Ball was about the Dragon Balls? Good times.
How would you know, Roshi? You've never seen them.
That
Hey, you guys
sort
want
of-
to help?
Well,
does sort of bug
Krillin
me.
will, but
After after the Frieza saga ended, because the Frieza saga was about Frieza looking for the Dragon Balls, but after the Frieza saga ended, the Dragon Balls just sort of stopped being important and
They
started
were a
just
plot device.
like- they were a plot device to bring dead people back to life, and that was
No,
it.
they became the last-minute fixer-upper.
yeah.
Yeah,
Deus Ex
yeah.
Machina, you could say.
Yeah, before that, the Dragon Balls were important to the plot. And you know what? I kind of at least give GT this. They started out by trying to bring some form of Dragon Ball back into plot significance.
And to another credit to GT, I did like the concept of the Black Star Dragons. Like you go like
The Shadow
you guys,
Dragons, you mean?
You guys, yeah, the Shadow Dragons. These guys
Yeah, it's
exist
like,
because
yeah,
you abuse
you
the hell out of the
guys-
dragons.
You guys overuse these these Deus Ex Machinas, now you're going to pay for it. I did like that idea, yeah.
Hey guys, have you seen Dumbo? Because now it's time for Pink Elephants on Parade.
I can't believe they turned Oolong's wish into a plot point, though.
Yeah, Oolong's wish from like the 13th episode of Dragon Balls comes back to bite them in the ass about 600 episodes later.
What, the
Well,
most
fancy
comfortable
that.
pair of women underwear?
Yeah.
How
Fancy
does that-
a pair of panties coming back to bite you in the ass. I would never have seen that coming.
I like to remind the audience that this wasn't edited out for television.
Yeah.
Also, what is
This
this?
isn't nearly as entertaining to watch as Heffalumps and Woozles.
Just wait.
They really needed filler for a 40-minute movie.
Yes.
There was this odd fascination with Gohan when the first, because this is not the only time they do something like this.
Yeah.
Like the World's Strongest also has something of a sequence like this. That wasn't as trippy. No, it actually was kind of trippy.
Gohan is fairly popular with people who like cute anime characters, and that was especially true when he was first introduced. So these cutesy humor scenes with Gohan kind of, just sort of fan service.
Gohan was the focus of Z. Well, early seasons of
For
Z.
a while.
Well, from the beginning of Z to end of Cell, it's basically his character arc. Well, his character arc is basically it's one of the overarching things up to that point.
More
Yeah.
early Saiyan and Cell, yeah, but not Frieza.
Well,
Yeah,
that's just Frieza links those two though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about Z, originally in Z, Gohan was supposed to be the protagonist. It sort of shifted back to Goku for the latter half of the Frieza saga and everything after Cell. But yeah,
Now these guys
Oh,
have really
wait.
fucking goofy names.
I'm
right?
sorry, I forgot the Great Saiyaman saga. That part where Dragon Ball Z tried to be Dragon Ball and failed spectacularly.
The Ocean dub calls Shenron the Eternal Dragon.
Cthulhu Fatang.
I almost forgot about that.
Well, I don't think it's a bad name.
No, it
It's not a
works.
bad name, because they were dubbing these for kids, and in America and the East in general, the West, sorry, in general. So, how many people know what the fuck a Shenlong is over here?
I think I heard my dad say that one time on a Saturday night.
You sound all
I
familiar.
wish to
Do
have
I?
a skateboard so I can ride on your back.
Wow. The Cave of Wonders has really stretched itself out.
Yeah, I was about to say, you sound awfully familiar. Are you related to that Cave of Wonders guy?
It sounds almost exactly the same.
Yeah. And yes, this is in fact the only time where a villain is successful in wishing for immortality.
The dragon must be really fucking bored with all these wishes. If someone's not wishing for immortality, they're wishing for somebody to be brought back to life.
Or to restore the Earth.
Oolong's wish was the only interesting wish ever made.
Now, granting someone immortality doesn't necessarily make them, ruler of anything. It just means they can't die. You could be a pathetic loser and still never die.
Yeah.
But you'll never die.
Well, Garlic Jr. is going to learn that lesson by the end of this movie, trust me.
Yeah.
But he didn't give you power. He just made it so you can't die. Yeah, you know what? In fact, Garlic Jr. is overall kind of pitiful, which is why in his filler arc they had to give him an extra power source to make him stronger.
He's kind of a darker and edgier peel-off.
Yeah, essentially.
Yes, he is.
He looks almost exactly like him too.
He has a nose.
Yeah. Well, then again, Krillin doesn't have a nose either.
No, and that's not even just art style. Krillin legit does not have a nose. It's actually why he wins against Bacterium.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Man.
What a coincidence. He actually does have the ability to turn into He-Man.
Sort of, but... Grr.
My fish.
Oh,
Joke's
hi.
on you, bitches. I have God on my side.
You do know that's just my name, right? Well, shit.
Oh, named himself. Oh no, I can't start quoting DBZ abridged because then I'll just never stop.
Incidentally, this means that Piccolo isn't dead line kind of makes no sense when you don't see the first scene first.
Yeah.
Not to mention, none of them know that Piccolo should be dead. Well, at least Goku shouldn't.
So the loser became the devil, right?
More like the process of becoming Kami never really gets brought up in anything.
So what was he, a demon too? Or something like that?
No, he's a select person.
No, this is still when Piccolo was a demon. This is before Namek.
Was that Dragon Ball's equivalent to the Phantom Zone?
It might as well be.
You see, this is how you can tell it's a movie. He doesn't want to hear the life story.
Yeah.
Well, none of this backstory is going to be important as soon as the next episode airs.
Well, you see, if it wasn't a movie, we'd spend 3 or 4 episodes in flashback learning about it.
My point exactly.
So wait, by this point, Goku's even sick of the filler?
Even for first movie standards, yeah, why not? It's not like Dragon Ball didn't have filler either.
Yeah.
I recall these guys had some really fucking ridiculous names in the Ocean dub. Yeah, Ginger.
Sancho.
Well, since Dragon Ball loves to name its stuff after foods, I assume they're either... Well, ginger's a spice, but I assume they're like Japanese words for spices.
These guys are actually called the Spice Boys, I think.
No, that's the Garlic Jr. filler
Oh,
arc.
well, yeah, I always thought these guys were the same thing because they named themselves their spices.
No, I'm pretty sure they only refer to themselves as the Spice Boys in the filler arc.
I think that's because the filler arc actually was after the Spice Girls were a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Goku still has his pole thing from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, power pole.
I'm sorry, Tutti Frutti Pepperoni, what?
The battle cries.
Those kind of battle cries and all these bulging muscles make me very uncomfortable.
These guys are all secretly Pokemon.
Okay, so it's been 20 minutes, and finally we have people punching people.
Wait until the later movies.
Speaking of the later movies, I just remembered today while I was searching through my movie case that I actually own Bio Brawly.
I do too.
Well, yeah, but
I don't even remember where I got it. It's the only Dragon Ball movie I own.
Just found its way to my DVD case. Yeah, shit.
Probably shouldn't have made those Dragon Balls, old man. Whoops.
So since I'm immortal now, I can tie you up and flick things at you until that eventually wears down your HP to 0 and you die. I don't have anything better to do.
What I don't get is why Garlic Jr. thinks immortality is such a thing when his own father was beaten by being sealed away for eternity. If I were him, I would have just wished that nobody could ever seal me away for eternity.
Okay, you know what? Here's my question. At this point, Goku doesn't really give a shit about Garlic Jr. taking over the world, probably because I think he assumes he's about as much of a threat as we do. So why don't they just let him take Gohan and go home?
because they're stupid.
Because then we wouldn't have a movie.
Remember when
look,
Krillin?
it's Krillin.
This was back when he was still semi-competent.
Yeah. He actually did shit.
Yeah.
What? Krillin did... Oh.
I just go on and say right now, I love Piccolo's theme.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's his Japanese theme.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Did Piccolo really have a theme in the English dub? Ocean or Bruce Falconer?
Yeah, he
know
had
what?
a
I don't
theme, but
remember
this is his best.
I don't remember any of the non-Japanese themes, to be honest, apart from, Rock the Dragon.
Well, there's the one... I remember the one theme that plays during the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, just because...
Ascension.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Boom, 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 boom.
You know what? My first thought was someone was tinkling on his head. It turns out that's exactly what it was. And of course, I know why I don't remember this scene, because obviously it wasn't shown on television.
Nope.
Okay, so what happened off screen to get them to start throwing energy balls at each other?
They
finished their conversation. The camera shifted away from it midway through because the director realized it was boring.
Lamest god
Are you done?
ever.
I'd like to mention that this is the one of the very few times we're ever going to see a midget beating the shit out of an old man, and we should all appreciate that fact.
Is that something you look for in every movie you watch, Lewis? You have a particular quota you need reached.
Oh, so now Krillin's actually going to do things.
Yeah.
Or, Piccolo can intercept it.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a really annoying Mass Effect mission where you're supposed to shoot down all of the kidnapper pirate people while the doctors they've taken hostage are, shambling around the area drunk as skunks.
And obviously, if you hurt any of them by mistake, you lose.
No, you can kill all of them and still pass the mission, but you're not going to get any Paragon points if you do that.
Yeah, Piccolo, back when you were second strongest.
What strongest was he at the end? 10th, 12th, maybe?
Well, all of the Saiyans, so Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks.
I would say no. I would say Piccolo's stronger than Trunks and Goten, but
both of them can turn Super Saiyan though.
well,
can't they?
But if you're going strictly power level, no, Goten and Trunks beat Piccolo. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean a goddamn thing if you don't have strategy.
Yeah.
Which Goten and Trunks do not have.
Yeah.
Well, future Trunks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Piccolo, out of all of the not Super Saiyan people, I
think
he's
the strongest. Yeah.
He's probably the strongest.
Piccolo always remained a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
So from beginning to end, really.
Well, because he stayed pretty useful the entire way through, despite not being a Saiyan.
Well, I mean, he takes down one of Frieza. What was it? Frieza's second form, basically all by himself.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Why is he dangling him over a cliff? Kami can fly.
He's hoping he forgets.
Why didn't I bring Mr. Popo?
Bitch, handle it yourself.
Cripes. Not only was it extremely bright light and powerful concussive energy, it was pepper spray, too.
Did he just pull swords out of his armpits?
Yes.
That guy just pulled swords out of his ass. Oh, guys, do you remember when Goku used this thing?
High clips from Rock the Dragon intro.
It was kind of an important element of the myth his character was derived from, so I'm surprised Toriyama let it just fall out of use completely with no explanation.
Well, by the time Z came around, basically everything from Dragon Ball had become obsolete.
It kind of just... Well, Goku didn't use it very much to begin with. There was just sort of just a staff he had.
Well, in early Dragon Ball, he used it quite a bit, but, when they established that his character has become better at, fighting with his hands, he doesn't really need it anymore. Yeah. Also, when he can shoot laser beams.
Yeah.
He could have implemented it into his Super Saiyan combat. Trunks uses a sword.
And we had a whole origin movie for that. Mooks are mooks.
I kind of wish he'd kept on using the power pole because it would have been more interesting than constant blurry fists all over the place.
For the sake of diversity?
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the series, it's all punches, kicks, and energy blasts.
They're just more effective.
Well, having a weapon, or at least a distinctive weapon, is a good way to make a character's fighting style feel more distinct. Because, animating someone swinging a stick around is different than a sword, or even different types of swords, etc., etc.
I'm going to go all Cyberman on your ass.
Who wants a hug?
Why the hell are you self-destructing? I already told you I'm immortal.
I don't believe you. That's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, back when Piccolo was also a badass.
At this point, what Garlic Jr. should do is decapitate Kami.
Nonsense.
Okay, dude. It's a waste, but you don't have to have a stroke over it.
Garlic Jr. pelted by Gan. The race turns into the Hulk.
As far as Dragon Ball Z transformations go, this one is one of the more ridiculous.
Well, he basically just turns into the Hulk.
Yeah.
You can also tell this is a movie. That transportation took little to no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
In the Garlic Jr. saga, it takes forever.
My point? Exactly.
I was already doing that.
Garlic Jr., you better get immortal. That's my secret. I'm always
immortal. I gotta hand it to the Ocean Dub people, the voice actors. They put a lot of spirit into their, in-fight screaming.
Well, especially Piccolo. What was the guy's name
again?
McNeil. Scott McNeil. That guy sounds like a fucking backer for Aerosmith when he's screaming his lungs out.
Yeah. Fun fact, Scott McNeil is also the original Hohenheim in the first Full Metal Alchemist series.
Huh. Interesting.
He also voiced Wolverine in was it Wolverine in the X-Men? Or
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, Wolverine's always Steve Bloom, isn't he?
No.
No.
I mean, like one of the earlier series is.
Yeah.
It's good to know that Krillin's head is harder than his chest.
Gohan hadn't had any real training.
He was still half Saiyan.
He's still half Saiyan, yeah, but that doesn't make him impervious
to crushing. That's all
he
needs.
Doesn't make him impervious to crushing.
If you're a human.
Yeah, but...
I'm just going to assume he lucked out, fell in between a bunch of rocks, and the other rocks just landed on top of them instead of on top of him.
Likely, but... Ouch.
You remember back in the early days of this series where that would have actually done something?
It didn't do anything. They jumped off without a scratch.
Yep.
Because now shit's about to get real.
It's the weirdest thing. Right now, the only thing I can think Goku sounds like is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Because I'm sure having my shirt on will improve my combat ability by tenfold.
I fight better naked. I need the breeze blowing past me.
Well, no.
Don't get too comfortable, he says. Ah, you haven't seen the episodes after this movie. In fact, Dead Zone and Dragon Ball Z, the series, start in exactly the same way. Piccolo gets his ass kicked. Because that's how you show a new villain is stronger than the old one. You have them beat the old villain to death.
You mentioned that, and I believe, it's in particularly the first 8 or 9 movies, there were parallels drawn how they mimic the original television series.
Yeah.
Like in a sense, you're watching an abridged version of the TV series.
Tree of Might as well have been
Vegeta.
The Vegeta saga, except without all the charm.
Yeah.
And then, like, people are saying, like, how Janaba is, like, Boo, or, I'm trying to remember...
Lord Slug is obviously Demon King Piccolo.
Yes.
Go Team Slug.
Wait, can't we, like, get a drink or something first? I love how these people keep forgetting that Garlic Jr. is immortal.
Even Kami. Or maybe he's just playing along with this. I'll give it 5 more minutes.
Look at me make small rocks float up in the air. So threatening.
Now let me conveniently open the one thing that could possibly stop me from my world domination plan.
Yeah, that's the thing. He does this, and there's no reason for it, because since he's immortal, he can just keep fighting until they run out of energy and die.
Yeah, sore loser. A stupid sore loser.
Now, let's see. What's the timer looking like? Oh, 33 minutes out of a 41-minute movie. Okay, so what's happening between minute 33 and minute 41 takes like 5 episodes. Or actually, I think it's more like 3. I'm not sure. In the actual series. They made this sequence here longer than the entire movie.
Stay tuned next time for Goku Hangs On for His Dear Life, Part 1.
I wish you guys were exaggerating there.
I wish we were too.
It's why everyone skips over the Garlic Jr. saga.
Does Kai
it's any
skip over the
convolution,
Garlic
Yeah.
Jr.
Oh,
saga?
of course, Kai.
Of course, Kai
skips it.
It is filler in the purest definition.
I'm pretty sure Kai just follows the manga. Yeah.
Well, why? Okay. Why do they have it in there then?
It's
Did they
filler.
Need, well, I know, but why did they need to write filler? Didn't the
Because
manga...
it caught up to the manga.
They didn't want the anime to overtake the manga.
Yeah. That's half the reason filler exists in a lot of anime series. Like Naruto, for example. That manga's still going on, and the anime keeps catching up to it, so they need to write filler arcs so the manga can go ahead and do its thing so that they can copy it later. Otherwise, you get things like Full Metal Alchemist, which is actually pretty good, but it doesn't remotely resemble the manga at all after the second half.
More like a better comparison is Soul Eater, where it just kind of ends.
Oh. I've never seen Soul Eater, so...
Excalibur.
Gohan angry. Gohan smash.
Pretty much.
I'm Gohan, bitch.
He has suction cups on his shoes, that's the answer.
Son of a bitch! You know, you want him to come closer to the portal. Don't push him back.
Get angry.
You see, Gohan's completely out of it because the color is gone from his eyes.
Isn't that what happens when you turn into the giant monkey?
No, it just
that's
knows
the
how you
full
know
moon.
that he's getting out of control. It actually kind of creeped me out when I was a kid. So.
Okay, Gohan, we've established that you can yell.
We've also established that he can glow.
Now do something with it.
Whoops. Just a few seconds too late.
Did he just create a spirit bomb out of nowhere?
Pretty much.
Well, not a spirit bomb,
Oh,
just an energy sphere.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's...
we'll never see him again.
Was it ever? Well, what? How did the filler explain his escape?
He got out.
The Machio Star thingamabobber gave him enough power to break free.
All right.
Apparently.
The
That's not going to happen again, because apparently they can destroy stars now. Actually, I think it was some kind of moon. I'm not really sure. It got close enough to the planet that they could just blow it up, though. That's always the answer to these problems, blow up the moon. And if the moon happens to be important to, the world's tidal patterns, you can wish it back in a few months.
All's well that ends well, right?
The city's been fucking destroyed.
Well, no one was living. No one was
Actually,
living.
what was this place? It's never explained.
Movie land. Now we can act like nothing ever happened.
In fact,
Nothing
let us never bring it up again.
Mikami, nothing did happen.
Now you're catching on.
Gohan, we were temporarily inconvenienced for about 35 minutes. That's cool, Dad.
Is that a space pod?
Gohan is so happy.
Well, remember, Gohan's like 3.5, 4, so.
Yeah, I think he's 4 or 5-ish at this point.
I can never really keep the ages straight in Dragon Ball because everybody
You don't need to.
Everybody ages in like increments. It's just like you turn your head and then suddenly Gohan's 17 and he's like 7 feet tall.
That was actually a small gag in the new Battle of the Gods movie.
Yeah.
Was Bulma's age.
Yeah.
Well, what was the...
Krillin is trying to find out Bulma's age. And she ends up being, I think she's like 38.
Yeah. It's like, but didn't we meet you when you were 16?
And she's used the same model ever since.
Actually, I think out of all the characters, Bulma is the one that goes under the most cosmetic changes.
Well, because she's the only normal human who sticks around the series.
Well, it's mostly just like her hair and outfit. Her general body shape has been the same the entire time.
Wow, she changes her hairstyle. It's not perpetually spiky.
Well, they do explain that for the Saiyans, at least, but...
Hey,
the Saiyans literally pop out of the womb with their same hairstyles that they have when they're 30.
So are you saying... So Vegeta says, so you're saying my father was born with a mustache? Yes.
Under the sea. Under the sea. Oh, and they used the
Japanese
TV show.
Japanese
the Japanese.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this was unnecessary.
So is every Dragon Ball Z movie. But at least next time when we do a DBZ movie, we get to the best one.
Personally, my favorite one. Yeah. The world's strongest.
Okay, well, seeing as there's 13 fucking movies, that's not making me very excited.
Well, not to say the other ones are shit, some of them. But to me, like, the next movie coming up is... it just did so many things right to me as a teenager, and I still look forward to it. But it has to be the Ocean dub, though. Yeah. Because that's the one I grew up with. And the Funimation dub, I love their attempts and stuff like that, but it just doesn't, to me, hold up as the Ocean dub. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the Dead Zone itself, it's enjoyable, if ultimately unnecessary. Because we make fun of it. Nothing fucking happens in this movie.
They were mildly inconvenienced for about half an hour.
Yeah. But most movies aren't like that. Because but here's the thing, I never understood why, because they're all uncanon anyway. And,
well, why do they have to be non-canon? Can't they just have the movie be...
Well, because the manga never leaves them because Toriyama never left them any room to fit them in.
Yeah. Even in the anime with all the filler, there's never a good time slot to fit any of the movies in there. They don't make sense later on, or events earlier on in the series just keep going and linking together, and there's no place for them to happen.